I would like to welcome you to Guersan's YouTube channel. Yes, it features content from the mobile game WWE Champions. So for that, he has my support.
Hello, champions. We're going to do part 3 of my answers from your questions from my Q&A or Reddit AMA, although it's not Reddit. So we did part 1 and 2. Check in the description for those links if you haven't looked them up. This should complete it. Might do another later on, but for now, that'll be it. That's a lot of questions already. First question from Renee Kennedy. Hey, Renee, been a while. So, hey, Guersan, how are you tonight? I was just curious as to how much you spend on the game every month. Well, I'm great as far as how much I spend. I answered that on part 2, I believe. Nowadays, not so much. Maybe like $500 a month, something like that. I used to go as far as $5,000 a month. My average until when I stopped like 3 months ago was close to $2,000 a month. Ever since then, it's been like under $1,000, usually around $500. I dropped a lot. Most of the big spenders I've dropped a lot. One of the reasons being we don't need much anymore. All right, Rex Hazelwood. Any advice on feuds? Just any tips in general would be helpful. Well, if you want to stay general, forgo sleep. That's the best tip. Basically, feuds are all about 2 things. A hell of a lot of playing and speed. You got to use characters. Like, don't care about heals. If you got a guy that died, use your health pack. Don't wait after your teammates. You're gonna waste time that you could have been doing another feud. So it's all about speed, getting those matches done fast. Like guys like Zombie Austin, they're freaking great, but you could do 2 matches with X-Pac within that time that you take to do 1 match with Zombie Austin. So it's all about speed and unfortunately, very little to no sleep. Richard Dillon Jr. That's a 3-part question. First, how do you stay focused on what character you want to upgrade? I don't. I have guys I want to upgrade, and then I always turn out upgrading guys that I need to upgrade, either for events and things like that. I have guys I really want to upgrade, and I haven't been able to for a long time. Number 2, are they going to do flash feuds again? I like them every time we have a regular feud. It's a weekend and I work a 12-hour day. I really hope they do. I don't know if they will. I know pretty much anyone you can ask is going to say that it was freaking awesome. I know in my faction everyone loved it as far as I know. But yeah, it took part of 2 days. But just the fact that you could have breaks between them was just awesome. So I hope they bring them back. Number 3, do you think they will do an open event, meaning you do not need special characters or requirement? I think this would help player out get more resources. Well, they're not really about giving out stuff. The whole point of having tours that are not open is that it forces you to use characters you wouldn't. So maybe they will, like most event, they got like an open tour in it, things like that. But like a full-on event with everything open, I don't see that happening. That's just my opinion, but I don't see that happening. And my throat is killing me. Probably shouldn't have filmed all those 3 back-to-back. Richie Gaming. Gee, what's real name and is YouTube your mainstream career? Well, my real name is Max or Maxim. As far as YouTube is my mainstream career, no, it's not. My streams are on Twitch, my videos are on YouTube, and neither of those are anywhere near a career. I would be living in the street if that was a career, because it doesn't pay. Well, it does, but like, it's not worth the time. I could do like, I spend so many hours a day doing that. I could do like 4 hours of overtime at work, and that would pay more than a month of YouTube. So Definitely not worth it for you. If you do YouTube because you want to make money, you'll be miserable because you won't make any money. You got to do YouTube either because you like it or you want to help people. Usually those two kind of go with each other. So, Romans Gaming, why do you don't make video on your Samsung S8 Plus, Guersan? I'm guessing you were probably on a stream or something to know that I got a Samsung S8 Plus phone. I do. That's what I've been doing right now with my computer. That I'm recording on my phone. Over the weekend, I went to a friend and I took those recorded video and I put in my UI graphics and everything, and I managed to put out the content. It's not anywhere near the standard that I set myself, which is annoying the hell out of me. But in the meantime, that's the only thing I can do. It's either that or I'm not making any videos. So you guys made it pretty clear that you want those videos to keep coming in. So right now I'm recording on my phone. I'm mixing on my phone, editing on the phone, everything. So yeah, not up to my standard. It's killing me. But so far, that's how it is. Got a new rig coming like probably next week. So let's just wait on that. Sany Boy 88. I need Alistair Black help. What do you need him to help you with? I'm guessing you want to know how to get him. Well, just play the event. I got him 2 times I pulled him twice on my last key pulls, and those are free. So that's probably the easiest way to get him. Other than that, you can the easiest way was to do the talent up at the start of the event, which you could earn all 3 guys. And now it's pretty much from pulls, either the one from the tours or the paid ones, which I'm guessing is probably not what you're looking forward to. But just through the briefcase pulls with the free keys, you can get him. So that'd be my best advice. Santosh 5. What's your roster size? What if your roster size without spending a single dollar? Well, I can't answer that. I've been spending dollars since the first day, since I had a 1K roster. So I don't know what my roster would be if I didn't spend any money. Probably would be a hell of a lot smaller. But I can't tell you a number. I know my roster size now, which is about 1.19 million, I believe. Again, I would need to check in the game, which I can't do when I'm recording this, because I'm recording on my phone. Sorry about that, the wife had a question. So, Sheraz Shala. Hey G, I'm your biggest fan. I'm following you since almost 3 years, and I have 4 questions. Number 1, who's your favorite character in the game and in reality? And also, who's your favorite team in game and in reality? As far as my favorite character in game, it's probably Jimmy Uso. On the TV show, it's either Braun Strowman or Drew McIntyre. As far as my favorite team in the game, it's probably the Good Brothers as a tag team, which is Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. And in reality, I'm really not that big of a fan of tag team in general, so I can't really pick one. Second, do you have any plans on giveaway for your fans anytime soon? Not anytime soon. I can't afford a giveaway right now, but I've been trying to get one from Scopely, so we'll see how that goes. Third, if you get a chance to go anywhere in the world, where would you go? I actually want to go back home in France with my daughter. We're going there next summer, not this year, next year. I want to bring her to Disney Paris. She wants to see the princesses. And since she doesn't speak English, she only speaks French. Disney Paris is going to be perfect because she'll be able to talk with the princesses. So that's where I want to go. Other than that, if I had to pick a place to go for myself, that'd probably be like Iceland or any of the Scandinavian places, really. They're all freaking gorgeous. Fourth, what kind of job do you do? If you don't want to answer, that's okay. Please take my question in a Q&A video, please. By the way, I love your work, man. I do tech support for a telecom company for internet, TV, phone, landlines, all the telecom services. Shinka Singh. When I saw your stats in game 2 days ago, I saw that you have 186 superstar, and now when I see today you have 187. Who's the new one? Is it Farouk from Summer Sprint Prize Wall? It is Farouk indeed, although it is not from the Summer Sprint Prize Wall. It was from the Trickster Equal Odds. Shinka Singh again. Did you see the posters of Bellas in the guide of the game? Will they come in the next event or so? I don't know when they're going to come, but yes, I did see them on the guide. But Ricky the Dragon Steamboat has been on the guide for months and months, and he's still not in the game. So that just means that there's data in the game. That doesn't mean that it's coming anytime soon. I mean, we've had the NWO for a year before it was released. SJ Manon, who's your favorite character in the game? Basically, I know you will say Jimmy or Andre before the days Brock with game release newly. Well, there's a lot of letters missing to make some of those words make sense. Basically, favorite character in the game, Jimmy Uso, indeed. Probably the one I like to use the most. Srivat's Shane, I have Akira, Naomi, and NXT set, all ready to enhance to 3-star gold. Who to do first? Naomi is my top female character, and I have no acrobat male at gold. Out of those, definitely NXT set is the best out of 3. As far as Naomi being your top female, you gotta have Alexa. Everyone got Alexa free, so you gotta have Alexa. So I would say go Alexa before Naomi, but yeah, NXT set. SSGSS Mario for the win. Do you like Dragon Ball Z? If so, who's your favorite character? Mine is Goku and Frieza. No, I don't like Dragon Ball Z. Well, I never watched Dragon Ball Z, so I can't say I don't like it. But I don't like manga in general, or cartoon in general, really. So, nope. Subrata Saha King. When WWE Champions game release new woman characters? I don't know. They didn't tell me. Taz Devil. Hey buddy, you know that I have been a fan of you for a while. Do you think that Scopely should do a trade system for in-faction trading? And what have you heard about new characters coming out soon? Yes and no. Trade system would be really nice, but I can understand why it's never going to happen for 2 reasons. First, it's obviously a monetary thing. They would lose a lot of money if you could trade, because people would just trade instead of buying. And secondly, it would completely unbalance the game, because you would have some people that are really, really rich. 3-letter names come to mind, which would basically be able to finance his whole faction and just buy everything and give it to them. So that would really unbalance everything. So it's never going to happen. Well, I don't think it's ever going to happen. The Champ, Guersan's Gaming, how did you get into YouTube business? I started originally because there was no content whatsoever about the game. You would search the game and there would be nothing. So I decided, well, what the hell, I'm playing. And I actually had started my channel a couple of months prior playing other games that I was putting on my channel. It was obviously really small at the time, which for me is still small right now. But I decided, I did videos for those other games, and I had fun doing it. And I'm playing this game now, which was the WWE Champions, and there's no content whatsoever. So what the hell, I'll do content and we'll see if people care to watch it or not. Turns out you did, so I continued. The Gaming Spy, you said it can be about yourself. So what do you do, a businessman? Because you spend a lot of money on Champions. Yeah, I do tech support for a telecom company, which is nowhere near a rich salary. It's pretty basic, really. Pretty average salary. Well, average for someone who's been working at the same place for 20 years. Because I've been working there 21 and a half. But yeah, it's not that money that I'm spending. Because that's enough for a living. That's it. But I did used to own my business that I sold 10 years ago, though. I had a medieval business reselling basically weapons and armors for either live combat or LARP recreation. That was the biggest in America. I sold that 10 years ago, and it crashed and died a year after I sold it. So they sucked at managing it. The Dominator 1307. What do you think of the new WWE figures that were unveiled as the SDCC this year at the San Diego Comic-Con, for those that don't know what SDCC is? The only ones I saw were the Ghostbusters figurine, which, sure, they were cool, but made no sense whatsoever. What does WWE have to do with Ghostbusters? That's just milking money. So sure, they look cool. They didn't make any sense. But I didn't see the actual wrestling figures, though. I'm not a big fan of figurines. My daughter, she plays with the WWE Barbie. But other than that, she doesn't care for the wrestling figures. And I'm 40 years old. I don't. Tim Wright. Is there a trick to getting matched up against tougher opponent in feuds? I send on average a 75k 4 to 5 4-star silver guys, rest 4-star bronze, end up fighting on average 50k roster with maybe 4 4-star guys, which leads to a lower score. Well, the last feud was really bad for that, because it was all about NXT characters, and most people don't level those. So even I had a 78k roster, which I usually have a 100k roster, and I had 78k for that feud, so I was fighting a lot of 3 stars in those. But normally, basically the way the game works is that it takes your score and your partner's scores, it adds it up together, takes that number, and it pits against another team of 2 guys that have the same average number as you two. So that's how you meet your opponent. If there's no available that are anywhere near that numbers, that's when your match takes longer to find an opponent, and at which point, that's when you're going to get basically match against characters that are way off your normal range, because they don't want you to wait 10 minutes for an opponent. They're going to put you up against anyone if there's no one within your range. It happens a lot to me, especially when there's those feuds that I can use a 100k roster. If I queue with someone else that has a 100k roster, it's going to take like 4 minutes for us to find someone, and they're not going to find another team that has 200k, and we're going to end up facing much weaker opponents. So unfortunately, there's no trick. The best one I can say, try to queue with someone that has about the same level of characters in his team that you do. That's going to be your best chances at fighting a team that has about the same size as you as a roster. But higher, that's really hard. Vince Libra, how much daytime do you spend on your channel? That's hard to say. Way too much. That's the answer. Like probably more than a day job. Like I spend, let's see, on the morning I spend about 45 minutes before work. During my day's work, I got about an hour and a half in breaks, of which I spend about an hour on my content. After work, I usually obviously go pick my daughter at daycare. I play with her, we eat whatever until she goes to sleep. Once she goes to sleep around 7:30, I'm going to be working on my content until midnight or 2 a.m. So that's a hell of a lot of hours. Like just the 7:30, that's 8. That's 4 to 6 hours on the evening, 5. So on average, a normal day, it's 6 to 8 hours a day on my content. Most of which is not the actual content. I'll probably, out of those 4 to 6 hours, I'm going to spend 2 hours on recording content. The rest is going to be, most of it is going to be answering you guys. It is insanely time consuming to answer all you guys. Like I've worked in support all my life, so I have a hard time to not answer people. So I answer everyone. Even when I said I wouldn't do it anymore, I still freaking do it. I still answer every message I get. And on average, on a slow day, that's about 400 to 450 message per day. That's if everything goes well. If there's like problems in the game or the shit at the fan, or an event goes wrong, it's going to skyrocket. Like, I've had days with over 600 messages. Obviously, a lot of those are going to be similar and quick to answer. But even if you take a minute to answer all those messages, that's 400 minutes. So it's a lot of time. And a lot of those questions have nothing to do with my content whatsoever. Often it's more about the game or problems they're having or questions that should be asked to support more than to me, really. But I do still end up answering everyone. But yeah, insane amount of hours, way too many hours, and barely any sleep is your answer. Walter Fleming, who's your favorite tag team that's not in the game that would love to see added? For example, the Steiner's brothers being added would be awesome. I mean, how can I not say the Legion of Doom or the Road Warriors, whichever version of them? That would be like number 1 on my list, and everyone at number 10. Everyone else at number 10. Last one from William. Any word on the Hulk scheduled to show up on Raw tonight, which was 2 days ago? If I heard right, hopefully means coming to WWE Champions soon. No, he's not. Reason for that is simple. Hulk Hogan, pretty much like Andre the Giant, owns his own trademark and copyrights. So WWE does not own the Hulk Hogan gimmick or character. Hulk Hogan does. Well, actually, it's Hogan Holding LLC that owns the Hulk Hogan name, which is owned by Hogan anyway. So, or Terry Bollea. So that's the reason why he's not in the game. WWE doesn't own him. For the game to be able to add a character, they need the approval and the license from WWE. WWE does not own such license, and the only time they would be if they have a contract or a legend contract or something like that, and Hogan has no such thing. Hogan is always on a one-by-one appearance or one-time deals, like he in Saudi Arabia, which I heard was not even paid by WWE, but by the whatever sheik over there. And other than that, for Mean Gene, it was a free appearance that I read. And now for the Raw, I'm guessing that one was probably paid, or maybe he want to earn his way back and he did it free, whatever. But it was not under any contract, so there's still no license to give. So as of now, Hulk Hogan's not coming. But I know I spoke to Scopely many times about that, even when I was with them in New Orleans a year and a half ago, and they definitely really want to have him in the game. But until they're allowed to by the license, they can't. But trust me, the moment that they can do it, I'm sure he's going to be on top of the pile and they're going to be all over it. So that is it for the question. This was fun. You guys had really... I expected a lot of the usual questions. I got some of those, obviously. But I got a lot of questions that are much less common that I get. So that was pretty cool. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I might do that again in a while. There's no point doing it on a regular basis because it would be pretty much all the same question that would come back. But if I do it like maybe once a month or something like that, that'd be a cool thing. So, thanks for watching, guys. If you're not already a sub, make sure to do so to be kept aware when I post new stuff. If you have any questions, ask them. And if you like the video, leave a like and share. See you guys. Gio. Ciao.
Hey, this is Bret the Hitman Hart, and I got a very special shout out for my longtime fan, Guersan. This means so much to me when you kick ass on that game. I want to thank you for putting me on your YouTube channel, and I want you to know that you are the excellence of execution in life. You are the best there is, the best there was, and the best ever will be.